Hey guys, Jim Edwards here, and welcome back to Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks with Jim Edwards and Stu Smith. And I was inspired by Stu today to not wear a hat, which I feel naked without a hat. So anyway, so we're doing something that Stu wanted to do today. Apparently, he is a glutton for punishment. What is our topic today, Stu?
Well, yesterday was a classic creation by Jim Edwards. It was Salescopy Algebra. So today we're going to do Algebra 2.
Sales Algebra 2. The problem is that if we do this, then it's not like there was an Algebra 3, and I basically failed calculus. So we're going to have to keep it in this Algebra 1, Algebra 2 thing, because I'm not sure there's sales copy trigonometry. I mean, that's a new realm of bullshit that I'm not sure.
Right.
Put up with.
Well, like I said, you come up with some cool equations, or should we say framework? Because that's really what this is. We're looking at a framework to creating sales copy. And the cool thing, what I did is I tested it out yesterday. I went on like 5 or 6 different
rants.
5 or 6 different things that I sell on my website, and just put it on a Post-it note and just made sure that I was hitting all those little steps that you have in the equations.
And were you?
Yes, I was very surprised. And there was a couple that I need to fine tune and tweak a little bit. So added another, if you don't get this, you're going to die type of comment. No, I didn't say that.
But you could fall to your death on the slide for life on the Bud's obstacle course if you don't have this kind of grip strength. So
no. Yeah, I was just I like it. I thought it was really cool. So I think we need to come up with some algebra too. So I put him on the spot to come up with 2 more equations.
Okay. So let's do this. I have something I want to show you guys, and we're gonna do this because I think this is gonna get you excited. Okay, so in honor of Stu, this is Sales Algebra 2. Hey, that rhymes. This is Stu's Algebra 2. I figure if they can make up new math for 3rd and 4th graders to drive people insane, I can come up with some new math too.
I love this.
Okay, so it's PP. Actually, this shit makes sense. It's you're gonna love this. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so PP is payoff. Okay. So PV is perceived value factor, which is made up of 4 things. So payoff divided by PV equals IOF, which is your irresistible offer factor. Now this is, okay, I'm telling you, man, this stuff makes sense.
Okay.
So let's say that your payoff is we're going to use you as I don't want to use you as an example because we'll use
me all the time. So let's use somebody else.
Okay. So let's use the example of selling your house in a weekend. Okay. Okay. So the payoff is sell the house in a weekend. Now, what does this TERS stand for, this terse? There are really 4 factors that factor into perceived value in your offer, and they're inverse to actually doing the thing. So the more you have of these, the less valuable it is. So T stands for time. E stands for effort. R stands for resources, and S stands for skill. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that the more time it's going to take, the more effort it's going to take, the more resources it's going to take, and the more skill it requires, the less perceived value there is. Whereas the lower the time, the lower the effort, the lower the resources, the lower the skill, the more perceived value factor there is. We'll see this in just a second. So let's say to sell your house in a weekend, if you had to do it on your own, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a lot and 1 being not much, what do you think that would take as far as your time if you were doing it on your own? Would that be a 10?
Oh,
It'd
yeah.
be 10.
It'd be a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But the payoff of selling your house in a weekend is like 100. Okay. I mean, that's like, yay. That's like the ultimate. But I would say the effort is going to be a 10. The resources it's going to take is going to be a 10. And the skill it's going to take is going to be a 10. All right. So if we do 100 divided by 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 40. Okay. 100 divided by 40.
2.5. 2.5.
Okay. 2 points. Stop it. All right. It's 2.5. That's your irresistible offer factor. All right. But what if now, instead of doing it on your own, I have a program where it shows you how to sell your house in a weekend using a simple auction format that you can put together in less than 4 hours of total work. What would you do, honestly, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's only going to take 4 hours of work, what would you say that is on a scale of 1 to 10?
That's pretty good. I'd give it maybe a 2.
Okay. And as far as the effort that it's going to take, all you have to do, if you want to do this, is you need to be able to fill out a form and call the newspaper or run an ad on the internet. So what would you say that is?
I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
A little bit of effort, not too much.
As far as the resources, you basically are going to have to pay probably $100 for an ad in the newspaper, and then you'll have to pay an attorney, and you'll have to pay, you have to pay an attorney. But you'll have to do that anyway. No matter.
So I think that probably would stay the same, maybe.
Okay, so that's a 10?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't think resources have changed because of the method.
Your perceived value. It's your perceived resource. What's your perception if I explain it that way?
I don't know, Jim. I would say it stayed the same.
Okay, so it stays the same.
Yeah.
And the skill, as far as the skills that it's going to take in order to do this, I can teach you in 30 minutes exactly how to stage your home, 10 things that you can do to massively increase your curb appeal. And I'll give you a one-page sheet that you can use to pre-qualify people who call on the phone to make an appointment. So what would you say that makes your skill thing here? What level?
The lowest is better, right?
Right. 1 is lowest, 10 is holy shit.
Yeah, I would say, that would bring it down to way below. Well, I'd be a 1 or 2 if I had like the checklist to do.
Okay, well, let's say it's a 3.
All right.
Okay, so we've addressed the time, the effort, the resources, and the skill. There are subsets of these. I'm actually going to be teaching a training. I've been really putting a lot of thought into this on irresistible offer stuff, and there are different subgroups of these that you need to address to make an irresistible offer. But let's look at this. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 10 is 15, plus 3 is 18. So still 100 payoff. 100 divided by 18 is what?
5.1.
5.5.
Close.
Okay. Versus 5.5. So our irresistible offer factor here is double. So as we remove roadblocks, our perceived value factor goes down. Okay. Our perceived and our irresistible offer factor goes up. So our objective when we are selling stuff is to remove time obstacles, effort obstacles, resource obstacles, and skill obstacles. Okay, that's really what this reminds you of. And the big thing to understand is that the reason this formula works is because I made the formula up.
Sure.
But I mean, if they can do this new math bullshit with kids in grammar school, I can make stuff up. But PP stands for promise or payoff. That's promised payoff, payoff promise.
Okay.
But if you think about it, if you want to make a really killer offer, should you be making it easier or harder on people?
Well, yeah, you not only on people, but on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say we were going to do this with, again, in people's minds, if you look at this, the time, the effort, the resources, and the skill, in their mind, when they first start out, no matter what it is, naturally people think that it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to be really freaking hard, it's going to take a lot of money and other resources, and we have to have a whole lot of skill. So simply by just explaining how what you're selling gets it done faster, requires less effort, requires fewer resources, and requires the absolute minimum skill, sometimes just by explaining it better in those terms, you're going to increase your perceive or increase the, you know what? This isn't the perceived value factor. This is the pain factor. No, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what this is. This isn't perceived value factor. This is pain factor. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
we're reducing the pain.
Yes, yes, yes. You're not reducing the value. You're reducing the pain. Yes.
Right. Man, I just had a little breakthrough there. See, you can make up math. This is like, we're like Albert Einstein and Alexander Graham Bell.
Newton invented calculus. You know, that's one thing I always wanted, like, who invents calculus? Well, Newton did, but how? How did he invent calculus?
They went to a pub with a piece of paper and a pen and started drinking a whole bunch and making it up. But that's what this is. It's the promise payoff divided by the pain factor is the irresistible offer factor. That's what it is.
I like it.
And because the lower you can make the pain, the less the payoff is diffused and the higher the irresistible offer factor. So I don't know if anybody else will care but us, but let's try this one more time on something else. Okay. So we're going to use Stu as an example now. So we'll use Brown. You're Brown, Stu.
Okay.
All right. So the promise payoff is you can get to buds.
Through.
No, get to.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could get to and through buds. How about that?
Yes,
okay.
There you go.
To and through buds. And for those who don't know, buds is underwater demolition SEAL training. Okay, so the payoff for that, get to and through buds. I mean, if that isn't 100, I don't know what would, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Now, doing it on your own, assuming that their thing is like, man, the time, effort, resources, and skill, those are all 10s.
Right.
But with your books, as far as the time, what would you say, honestly, is the time factor? How can you reduce the time factor on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being...
Well, you can always train smarter, not harder.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, there is a significant thing. But the sometimes here's the problem with my market, right, is that they tend to not train enough, right? So they need to put in more time, but they need to put in more time doing other things, right? So where I have them focus their time is on their weaknesses versus wasting a lot of time on their current strengths. So it is, in the end, a reduction of time. I would say it probably reduces it in half.
Okay, so we'll put that in a 5.
Yeah.
As far as effort, again, that's one of those things, what you just said there, time and effort go hand in hand, especially in this thing. You know,
Yes.
you're not wasting effort on anything other than the exact stuff that you need to do.
Yes.
So we'll put that as a 5.
Yeah.
Resources, I mean, with what you show them how to do, basically you just need a pool
You need,
and
very
a pull-up
little
bar.
stuff. Yeah. Very little stuff.
Okay. So, and I know that a lot of guys think you need a gym and you need all this other stuff. And I mean, I've seen pictures of that. There's 3 pull-up bars right there along that trail that look like they're falling apart, and it looks like there's graffiti and shit all over the walls and barbed wire and stuff. You don't need a great place to get in shape to do this. I mean, honest to God, some pictures I've seen of that trail y'all run on, I half expect Jason in a hockey mask to come out from behind a tree.
It's actually nicer than that, but you know.
You need to take better pictures then. And as far as skill and stuff, I mean, this really doesn't require any
This
skill.
is a roadmap. This is a roadmap and a framework to get you there. You just follow the roadmap.
So really, that's, I mean,
Yeah.
if anything, it's a 0.
Yeah.
I mean, it requires no skill other than just doing what I tell you to do.
Right.
So that takes it down to an 11. And I mean, 100 divided by 11 is like 9.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that's like our highest. That's an 11.11. That's a really good irresistible offer factor, especially when you're comparing it to something else, when you're comparing it to the alternative.
Right.
And that's really what we're doing, is this pain factor compared to the usual alternative is really what we're doing. Compared to the usual solution or worst case scenario. And that's what makes it irresistible. So this is kind of fun. I mean, you guys get to see us think something through, but this is, I mean, I enjoy this because it forces me to look at this stuff through a different lens and think it through differently. But if you think about it, if in summary, well, I want to look at this one other thing, because there's another factor we really didn't really address.
That sounds good. You know, something I want to say, that this gives, you know, like a segment of, you know, the population who may be trying to get into business or are in business that may not be from the liberal arts side, and they could write sales copy very well, but they come from a analytical thinking brain. You know, they see this and they can say, oh, all right, so this makes sense. Now I can you know, apply it in a different way. And then they kind of understand the system behind your scripts.
Right.
You know, and your wizards.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Now, the thing we didn't address, and we assumed over here on this problem payoff, was that everything we're offering is 100, is on a scale of 1 to 10 is 100, or 1 to 100 is 100. But there are some things that you could make, you know, oh, time, I can show you that in nothing flat. Effort, it's a 1. Resources, you don't need nothing. Skill, you need a 1. But if the promise payoff isn't that exciting, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I can show you how to fix your copier. I can show you how to fix your laser printer if it's jammed. Well, on the excitement factor, that's like a 5.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't a real sexy promise of a payoff.
But I will tell you this, I've gone to YouTube many, many times to figure out, how do I fix this thing?
Okay.
And it's kind of, you know,
great point.
It's not it's like my air conditioning unit in my car, right?
But that's not something, but you just hit it. It might be something people want to do, but they ain't willing to pay money to learn how to do it.
Right.
It's not like you're going to
for free.
You don't want to know enough how to do it other than, hey, I'm going to go look at YouTube and see what it says.
Right.
And that's a key, is that it's got to be something people are willing to pay for. And the willing to pay for thing is the promise payoff. The higher that is, the more you're going to get up into people are willing to pay for something.
Very good. Because, yeah, I saved $800 by going to YouTube and figuring out how to fix my air conditioning unit.
But would you have paid $800 to figure out how to fix your air conditioning unit by yourself?
No.
No. Would you have paid $50? Probably not, because it's me personally, I would be, well, I don't want to pay $50 for something that isn't for sure going to show me how to do this. But on the flip side, let me ask you this. If the video that showed you how to fix the air conditioning unit showed you how to use a tool to fix your air conditioning unit. So free video, paid tool, fix air conditioning unit. How likely would you have been to buy the tool from them in order to fix it once you saw that this was what was going to fix your thing?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. And monetized videos.
Right.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else to think about. Again, the promise payoff, but you know, I guess that's kind of getting a little bit outside the realm. You know, are you trying to make money off of a product? Are you trying to make money off of selling information? Are you trying to make money off of, hey, I'll come do it for you? I mean, you could also have seen a video and watched it and gone, you know what? I probably could do this, but I could also hire this dude in the video to do it for me for $300, and I know it's done the right way. True. So, you know, there's a lot of different angles to it, but the thing that I wanted to get across in that last little part was that you need to pay attention not only to how much time, energy, or effort and resources and skill you can reduce for people to make your offer more irresistible, but you really have to pay attention to what's the promise of the payoff. Because if it's not anything that's super, super exciting, then nobody cares. Yeah. I mean, I can make it easy to go get hit by a beer truck on the highway. It doesn't mean that anybody's going to want to be able to do that.
True.
Anyway, something to think about. Well, that was Sales Algebra 2. You guys need to let us know if you think this is a fun and new and interesting way of looking at this, or whether I just need to do this stuff on my whiteboard with my little Albert Einstein mustache and wig on and feel like I'm smart. So you guys need to let us know if this is something that you think is cool, if it gives you a different perspective, a different way of looking at this. So definitely in the group, let us know. If you're not a member of the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks group yet, you need to be. Make sure you check that out. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. You tell them, Stu.
Yeah, Google Play and iTunes podcast. In fact, I'll put the link to the closed group on Facebook within the description of this video. So check it out.
Cool. Awesome. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast.